Hey guys, so with my new guitar, I've been making sure that I go to places to really get inspired to watch other musicians play. And I went to my favorite live music venue last night, traveled quite a distance to get there, and I was disappointed that it wasn't what I hoped. But the guy playing, the main singer, had a message for everyone. One of the songs had to do with divinity and taking back your power. And he specifically said that we don't realize that we forget that we are connected to the divine. And that connection is supposed to be ours. But over time, we don't realize that we give away that power to people that do not deserve our attention, our time, our focus, and we get lost forgetting that we are part of the divine. Like we have that divine energy in us. And his message in that song was to take back your power. Because I could totally appreciate the message, but I didn't love the music, I very quickly got out of there once their set was done, or their first set. And I moseyed on to this little Irish pub that I really appreciate as well. It's a smaller place that has live music that's less professionally done. It's just raw and fun, and yeah, just a guitarist and his maybe loop pedal and his voice. And I always find it comical how the Irish can have a very thick Irish accent when they speak, and suddenly when they sing with an American Canadian accent perfectly. So one of the last songs that I heard this guy play before I had to leave was Knocking on Heaven's Door. In that moment, that song really was talking to me. It spoke to me in a way that I hadn't heard it before. And maybe I haven't heard that song since my mom passed away, since I've been more into spirituality, since I'm really trying to make that connection between heaven and earth and seeing it and feeling it with music and even through dance, and realizing how that it's really a thinner veil than we really think it is. So Knocking on Heaven's Door had a more profound, almost real image for me. Like, we can do that. Even in the Script song, this song by the Script, um, you can be the greatest, you can be the best, you can be the King Kong banging on your chest, you can beat the war, you can beat the something, you can go knocking on, you can go knock on God's door, something like that. Like, these messages now have a deeper meaning to me, because I think that every day we do that. We have the ability to do that because we have the divinity in us. But also, heaven and God or the universe or whatever you believe in speaks to us. And after I left that Irish pub, I don't even drink, I was just there to listen to the music. I'm walking lopsided, out of balance. People are asking me if I need help. I'm like, no, I'm just going to take my time. And I felt slow and clumsy, and it feels like the norm for me right now. But because I was walking slow, the pace that I was going was perfectly timed with, right in front of me as I'm walking, this cascading. I swear it was like this in slow motion. Like, well, it was actually way up, and then it started cascading like this, like this, like this, right in front of me, and I swear it almost stopped for a second, a millisecond, right in front of me, and then kept going. It was a cute little feather. And it was, yeah, I'm in Vancouver. There's lots of birds and stuff, and there's lots of feathers around. But it wasn't just a feather, not just, because that's still important, a feather laying on the ground, or it was a feather talking to me. It was like knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. We could knock that way, but heaven can knock on us or be more gentle about it. And it doesn't have to be a knock, it can be a gliding, swaying, graceful, falling, cascading. It was such a beautiful moment. And it reminded me that this is my pace. Like, I might have missed it if I was in a hurry and if I wasn't walking slow. And how fitting that this feather was cascading right down in front of me, wanting to get my attention right after I just heard knocking on heaven's door. Whew. Things like this happen to us all the time, and we don't realize it. It doesn't have to be a feather. It could be in the form of a person. I was waiting for a ride on a patio in a beautiful setting, and I wanted to see the flowers, and there were amazing like patio set up with a little waterfall and stuff, and I wanted to see it as I was leaving to get up and go. And so I got up and I tried to look over at this like waterfall kind of decorum outside in this restaurant patio, and I sometimes forget that for me to journey those few steps, it's really difficult. And so even though I got to see what I wanted to see, now going back into the restaurant to pay and leave felt like a lot. And I didn't realize the expression maybe on my face, or just probably the way that I was moving, was telling other people that maybe I was having a difficulty. I was just going slow. I didn't fall, but I definitely wasn't, steadily in balance, walking swiftly or anything like that. And a guy that felt like came out of nowhere just stood in front of me, smiled, very attractive looking guy, I might say, young guy, held out his arm and he said, "Can I help you? You seem a little unsteady on your feet. I would like to escort you to wherever you need to go." It was like a feather. He was like a feather. He was another divinely sent in very beautiful form, I might say. Just also, it was like what made him attractive was his smile and his confidence. There was no, like, he was assured that he's there for me, and whatever I need, I can rely on him. I don't know him. He came out of nowhere. He walked me to the waitress where I wanted to ask for my bill, and I said, "You're so sweet. Like, I don't know where you came from, but I so appreciate this." And it's very humbling for me to be like this, because I used to be more mobile and do things that were more active. And he said to me that he played for Team Canada, which I think he was actually talking about baseball, because he was talking about pitches, and I don't know. We didn't get into it. So, but he said he had an injury for a year and it took him a long time to recover. And I said, "Well, it's great that you recovered, but also the fact that you went through it made you more compassionate. And he said, I was also raised by a really great mom. And he feels like that's where he got his compassion. And that, of course, really touched me as well. And I said, like, I so appreciate it. And he said, by the way, you're a very beautiful woman. So before I left, I wrote on the back of my bill, I wrote, his name is Ryan. Ryan, if you ever see this, or energetically, if I put out a thank you to you, I really want to say thank you for being such a model of a man, like, and divine. Yeah, the divine, like you came, you observed, you got the download that she might need some help, and you, without hesitation, did this amazing thing. But I wrote down, Ryan, thank you so much for the compliment. Your mom did teach you very well, and everything that is beautiful about me came from my mom, Layla, and I signed my name. And I told the waitress to give it to him because there was no way I was going to walk all the way back to the patio to do that. But it's a feather. It's a sign of divinity. It's a sign that we are all connected. And if we tap into our power, our divine power that we have, it's not outside of us. These connections can happen between people, and natural things like a feather falling right into my line of sight, like not even that, but making me watch it. Like I could not have missed it, but at the same time, it was just flowing in the right timing. Like it was so obvious it was meant for me. It was literally in front of me. And because it stopped me, it reminded me that it's okay that I'm going slower. It's actually a beautiful thing. And yeah, make sure you connect with your divine power. We all have it in us, and the amazing synchronicities and beautiful feathers and other signs that come your way will just make you never feel alone, never feel out of sorts, out of pace, out of, like, you're right on track. And yeah, thanks for listening, guys.